Wildcard weekend has come and gone. Golly. What another great weekend of football. Some wild finishes. Teams can't hold a lead. I love football. That's all it is. This is the Fumblerooski Podcast.
It may not have always showed it in the stat sheet, but you can see him making throws when he needs to make the throws.
Back-to-back games where he has 3 touchdowns.
Someone's got to get that 6 or 7 spot.
He's an elite wide receiver as a rookie.
Truly a lose-lose scenario for both sides.
Welcome to the Fumblerooski Podcast by Power 88 Radio and Secret Weapon Consulting. We got CJ Medeiros. We got the birthday boy, Adam, right? Happy birthday, Adam.
Thanks, baby.
Happy birthday, Adam.
What have you done so far today for your birthday?
I woke up. I was out last night, so I had a late night and was feeling a little sleazy. And
sleazy.
Hey, yo. What you mean by that?
What do you mean by sleazy?
Just feeling a little tired. And then I drove back from Boston. Got a nice little workout in. I'm eating my lunch right now. Got myself some baked ziti, and getting a seafood dinner tonight over some Texans Steelers. So that's gonna be fun.
Nice. I love it. Love to hear it.
What does sleazy even mean, by the way? I kind of just said a word.
Oh yeah. To put it nicely, it's somebody who's, we'll say, sexually immoral. Somebody.
Oh, I am not sleazy.
Of ill romantic repute type of deal, which is why he said it. I'm like, hey, buddy, let's keep this at least PG-13.
Hey man, if I'm around you people, then I'm extra. No. CJ has me feeling some type of way sometimes.
All right. Well,
me, why not Chris? I mean, we all know.
We've already established that part.
Yeah, we've already.
We know how he is. We know how he is.
We know how you are. The Rams outlast the Panthers to open wildcard weekend. In general, the first 3 games of the weekend, or first 4 games of the weekend, I should really say, the team that had the lead in the at the 2-minute warning ended up not holding that lead.
Oh, Chris, I don't want to cut you off.
Oh, look who we have here! Yeah, Justin.
Those
Tucker,
just listening, we
my
got
man.
Tuck. We got Tuck. It's a full house.
Oh, come on, Tuck.
What's up?
I said I was on my way.
We literally just started as you sent that.
Yeah, I clicked record right as you sent the text.
It's fine. My fault.
It's all right. We were just talking about Adam's birthday and the definition of the word sleazy. Because he described,
Happy birthday.
He said he was feeling sleazy.
For some reason, I'm a little out of it. For some reason, I thought it was another word for just being tired, but
No.
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 Maybe we should talk about some Rams.
Yeah, let's talk about the Rams. So Matt Stafford hurt his finger, nothing came out of it. Let's get that out of the way real quick. I mean, shit, Bryce Young threw his early interception, got that out of the way, and he started playing like prime Cam Newton. He was balling out with Cam Newton in the house, of course. They had all the Panthers legends. Greg Olsen was on the call. Luke Kuechly was there. It was some stacked star power for the Panthers. Ted McMillan, he went off. Jalen Coker, 6th-round pick, may as well have been your 1st-round pick because who the hell is Xavier Legette at this point?
Holy Cross legend.
Jalen Coker. And this was one of those games where it was like, all right, when are the Rams going to pull away with this one? When are they going to start to really stomp on the Panthers? But it never came because the Panthers showed up just like they did earlier on this season. Bryce Young, 21 for 40, 264 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Jalen Coker, 9 catches, 134 yards, and a touchdown. Once again, Puka Nacua couldn't be stopped. 10 catches, 111 yards, 1 touchdown. Stafford ended up with 304 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception in this game. I mean, we expected the Rams to win, but I don't know if we were expecting basically the same thing to happen as the last time around, where the Panthers were able to almost do what they wanted, essentially, and, well, put up 31, almost won. This would have been quite the upset if the Panthers were able to win this, because they were 10.5-point underdogs. So that credit to the Panthers on that. But what's the outlook on this game for you guys? CJ, let's start with you.
Well, I want to open by saying this. For the Panthers, being a one and done in the playoffs sucks, but you have no reason to be mad at yourself. You really don't. I mean, most people thought you were just going to roll over and die, but you really didn't. You know, I think they should just hold their heads high here. You know, you took the Rams to the very end. I mean, yeah, that drop by Jimmy Horn Jr. kind of sucks, but like, you know, everyone's like, oh, myself included, said, oh, you know, you can't catch lightning in a bottle twice. But, hey, you almost did. You know, like I said, you took him to the very end. You definitely have, like, real legitimate potential with Bryce Young. I think Dave Canales is a very good coach. Ted McMillan defied all expectations. What is he, like the first rookie receiver since, like, in a bit to hit 1,000 yards? Since, like, Jefferson or someone like that, or Chase. He's probably offensive rookie of the year. Coker, what a breakout he had. Totally makes up for whiffing on Leggett. The defense is kind of questionable, but you've got some good pieces like Derek Brown and J.C. Horn. I think, and considering the fact you're in the NFC South, the future should be looking relatively up. But as for the Rams, what the hell was that? Like, look, you won, and Stafford, I guess, put on a clinic, kind of. But honestly, I'm not going to say skeptical, but, I mean, it was a good win. You know, playing on the road's never easy. Against a team you lost to, also not easy. But their biggest weakness continues to be that pass defense. That front seven is electric. That back four is very questionable. But if you just keep spamming the ball to Puka, you'll be fine. Because Puka is damn near unguardable. Arguably like the best receiver in the league at this point. Him or JSN, you can take your pick. But like I said, for the Rams, you know, considering the fact this team beat you before, I'm glad you took it seriously. It was probably a little closer than you wanted. But you're going to be going to Chicago you know, next round. So for the love of God, like, something has to change for your pass defense. But overall, you can't really be that mad at the Rams. They got their get back.
Birthday boy, what say you?
Oh,
I think overall, what we saw from Stafford, I mean, he had a rough game for pretty much, I mean, almost all the game. He was rough. But he showed why he's an MVP candidate on that final drive that he had. And look, in hindsight, I was like, he had a terrible game, 8-9 team. But how often as Patriots fans did we talk up the Ravens whenever they faced him in the playoffs? It's like sometimes you just have playoff teams that, you know, they barely squeak in and they just play up to competition. And the Panthers have done that twice now. Once earlier this year, and then they've done it again this past weekend. So, you know, they came out with a win. It was a pretty gutsy win. Matthew Stafford was, I believe he sprained his index finger, they said. So he was playing hurt, and he still managed to do it. And that's something that he's no stranger to. So, yeah, my takeaway, Matthew Stafford is one tough SOB.
Facts. Chuck?
Well, I can't believe I'm saying this, but congratulations to both teams. I thought this was going to be a blowout, but Carolina Panthers showed up to play. I thought Bryce Young being a rookie would show up, like, the inexperienced part, and it did show up, but He played like a stud on Saturday. Oh my. That game got considerably close, and then at one point when the Panthers finally took the lead, I thought, "Oh my lord, this they actually might win this." And then Matthew Stafford proceeded to march down the field and throw a game-winning touchdown to Cody Parkinson, which, by the way, that was an amazing catch and score. That was unbelievable. And then scored, and then Jimmy Horn unfortunately couldn't make the catch. So it was like, damn. But congratulations to the Los Angeles Rams. We believed that they were going to win. Now they have to go up against Chicago, which, by the way, Chicago, just when you think they look bad, all of a sudden they turn it around and look absolutely amazing and unstoppable. So that's going to be a very interesting game to watch. Carolina has a lot to improve on, but the future looks absolutely bright. If only they can fix the wide receiver spot with Xavier Legette, because all the others are showing up. If he can just show up, it would be good. And if they can get that O-line healthy, that team might be a problem in the future. So the future looks bright in Carolina, so they should keep their heads up. And good job for the Los Angeles Rams. They pulled it off against apparently a very tough opponent all of a sudden. So congrats.
I cannot believe how wrong we were about Teteroa McMillan. That kid is awesome. It's the size, the way he moves. I know he looks slow, but there's something about the way he moves, the way he sells his routes, where it's just awesome.
His catch radius is unbelievable too. His catch radius is unreal. I guess my takeaway is that the Rams defense has been ass this back half of the season, and it trickled into the wild card round. And it kind of stems from the loss against the Panthers the last time out too, because they let up 31 now both times. Besides only giving up 17 to the Cardinals the week after that, gave up 34 to Detroit, 38 to Seattle, 27 to Atlanta, and then 20 against Arizona. But they haven't been that great recently. And especially against a Chicago team who, they might start out slow, but once that offense gets humming, they get humming. So Rams defense, they could potentially be in trouble going into Chicago next week, but this is a team that also can play in the cold as well. Showed it last year against Philly. So at the same time, that's going to be very interesting in itself. Sticking with the Bears then, with Saturday, Bears facing their demons, come back, beat the Packers. What a game. What a game indeed. Cardiac Bears once again. Down 21-3 at halftime. Packers, got the ball the second half. This is your opportunity to go up big, go up 28-3. Not able to do so, unfortunately, for them. And the Bears, another slow third quarter. But once the fourth quarter came around, cinema, scene, lights, dim them down. Too bright for the Packers. Caleb Williams, say what you want to say about him, but when shit gets tough, he gets cooking. Purple nails, who gives a crap? Dude can ball in the fourth quarter. And doesn't matter what the deficit is, you're not out of it you're not out of it when you got Caleb Williams at Cubone. Adam, thoughts on the game?
Lil Wayne from on social media, he said it best. He goes, we lost to a dude with purple nails. And look, he plays his best football when it absolutely matters most. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Bo Nix, where, I think he has more talent than Nix, but I think just the sense of them having that competitive attitude when it matters most and being able to make some of the throws. Some of those throws were insane. Like, did you guys see the one where he was getting dragged down by the ankles? He's running to his left, and he has to turn it, and because he's obviously a righty, he has to turn and throw against his body and make a long throw to Roma Dunze on the sideline. It was unbelievable. What I will say, Ben Johnson's a bit of an asshole. It's kind of funny, and I kind of like it.
What do you mean?
I think he's going a little too far.
The post game.
Nah, this is the Bears and the Packers. This is supposed to be a rivalry. Aaron Rodgers told Chicago that he fucking owns them.
He's not on the team anymore. Matt LaFleur's never done anything. It's like it just feels so forced. Like, I know it's a rivalry. This has been fun. I'm enjoying it.
Jordan
All
Love
I'm
post
saying
pictures
is
of him
like,
holding the
it just seems
Bears
like
as
Ben
his
Johnson's
child.
going out of his way to start beef with LaFleur. Like, not even just competitive. Like, did you see the way he shook his hand the other day? He was like shouting at him, like ran over and then just ran away. And then LaFleur's just like, what the hell was that? Like, again, it's fun, but I'm just thinking of it. I kind of feel bad for LaFleur in this situation because it's like, I didn't do anything. It's fun. I'm not complaining about it, but I do think like going a little far there. It's been interesting.
Nah, we need a heated rivalry in the league. And the fact that the Bears and the Packers both being good and reigniting this rivalry is good for football.
I mean, he did beat him twice.
Beat him twice. That's the other thing is that he beat him twice. Tuck.
It was so nice the first time I had to do it twice. The way I see it is like this. Congratulations to the Chicago Bears and that victory. Oh my God, they were getting belted in the first half, and then all of a sudden the fourth quarter happened and they just came alive. Like for some reason they're always doing this season. They're hard to kill. So congratulations to that. But when Adam says that it's unnecessary, I kind of thought so too, until I went back earlier in the week and how the Green Bay Packers were actually asking for Chicago. Like they made it very clear that they wanted Chicago. They thought it was a fluke when they faced them last time. They wanted to get their get back, and they were talking a lot of this noise. So when Chicago got them and then they won, they're not going to hold back against it. But I'm not going to lie, Caleb Williams is an absolute villain to the Green Bay Packers. You saw the way he was grating that cheese in the postgame?
He had that tongue sticking out. He was getting into it.
He does not like Green Bay, and Green Bay does not like him. This is going to be an amazing rivalry because finally Chicago has an Aaron Rodgers like quarterback behind them. Oh, this is going to be interesting for years to come. If they can keep this up, I want to see it for a long time. But congratulations to Chicago. They were down in the first half, but McManus, the kicker, I knew there was something wrong with kickers this season, and he just showed me why. Up 21-3 before half, you had an opportunity to make it 24-3, and you shank it. You miss. And then the fourth quarter happens, and then they finally score a touchdown with with Matthew Golden. Congratulations. Finally, he comes in clutch and scores a touchdown when he absolutely needs it. And
Matthew Golden had a great game.
Yes. He wanted that touchdown. Like, he wasn't going to stop for that touchdown.
He always had the abilities, but it's like they never used him.
Yeah.
He's in a crowded wide receiver room.
And he was banged up too.
Yeah, but I think he has all the tools to make it work. They just didn't use him as effectively as we all thought as a first round pick. But he showed up in the playoffs when we needed him to. So I think for the Green Bay Packers, I think it's more like not rebuilding. It's just reloading because they were so injured this year. I think once they get healthier, you'll see a different version of Green Bay. But congratulations to Chicago. They came back from a deficit, which quite frankly, they shouldn't have. And Green Bay should have finished the job, but they couldn't. And Chicago took advantage of that. Congrats to Chicago. Now they're on to face the LA Rams, which I'm not sure if they get behind by like 18 points, they're going to come back because once they and Rams score points, they don't usually stop unless you make them stop. So I think this is going to be an interesting game, and I want to see how Chicago's defense adapts to McVay's offense.
CJ, your thoughts?
Well, for the Bears, just what a comeback. Caleb Williams, just doing what he does best. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. It seems less like a comeback, or at least for a lot of these games, even including the regular season, feels less like a comeback and more like they're just kind of dancing through the raindrops. But hey, if it works, it works. You keep riding that momentum until it doesn't work. That's just the way it is. As for the Packers, I'll get that. I'll get that later. Just the Bears have some fighters. They were tired for decades of being little brother. That's the thing. Green Bay and Rodgers, whenever they have anything nice, Green Bay just starts chirping and says, "Oh yeah, we still own you. You're nothing." Just the abuse constantly. Snide Packers fans trolling them during free agency, the draft, the regular season, the postseason. And Chicago, they just got back at them. So, and I just think it's funny how now Packers fans, after, we own you, just the nonstop trash talk is now going, Ben Johnson's a big meanie head. Like, fucking grow a set. Oh my God. Yeah, grate that cheese, Chicago. You earned it. That's my stance. The Chicago has earned every right to talk as much shit as they want. They really have, after Packers fans essentially just trying to take on the role of mean older brother. They got punched in the mouth, and now all of a sudden it's, hey, let's keep it classy. Nah, Packers fans, and honestly, the Packers players and staff, you threw classy out the window a long time ago. Now it bit you in the ass. And we finally have like another really good rivalry in the league. Kind of like it kind of reminds me of the Steelers and Ravens, where you just have two teams that just hate each other. There's no like begrudging respect. There is no me without you. There's just hatred. And that's what we need more of. But as for the Packers, don't you cry to me about injuries. I don't want to hear it. I sincerely do not care. You were up 21-3. And the Bears defense didn't even adjust all that much. You just went cold. Like the Bears defense made some adjustments, but they didn't like completely change it up. You just went flat. And yeah, I know I jokingly called their defense defanged after losing Micah Parsons, but I don't care how injured you are. Blowing that lead, furthermore, giving up 25 points in the fourth quarter alone, that is inexcusable. That is some vile butchery of football if I have ever seen it. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I once again, injuries really don't matter when you are blowing that huge lead. Like, it's huge. I mean, it's like they play a part, but you still got that lead in the first place. I don't really know how much. I mean, I know they're banged up, but how much can you really blame that when you blew a 21-3 lead?
Mm-hmm.
But also, but Brandon McManus, the kicker, I will say, if he makes his kicks, they win. It's not like he missed a field goal. No. He missed 7 total points. That's 2 field goals and an extra point. 7 total points, just gone. He left 7 points on the field. He makes that extra point. Let's just say he misses both field goals, makes an extra point. Then, to be fair, the Packers did get into field goal range. So then you're playing for overtime. Not that I would have trusted him to make that field goal, but I digress. So for the Packers, what's it gonna take? Because honestly, I think he's good, but I'm just not sold on Jordan Love. I'm really not. Like, I think he's a solid. Yeah, Chris looks at
Brother had 323 yards and 4 touchdowns. What else you want him to do?
Win.
The defense let up 25 points.
He went cold. He went flat. He disappeared when they needed him most in the second half. When the Bears rally, the Bears, which are known to be a second half team that pull all kinds of fluky bullshit out of their ass, I would have liked him to just not disappear. That would have been really nice.
Did he disappear after the Bears made it a one-score game?
It's not like he's in his second year where, you could just say, oh, he'll get better. He's been in the league for a bit. And I just don't really know how you can excuse this. I genuinely don't know.
Jordan Love.
I'm not so okay.
The moment that the Bears made it a one-score game with 10:08 left in the game, Jordan Love drove the team down the field, and with 6.5 to go, there was a 23-yard touchdown pass to Matthew Golden. After that, The
Dink and
Packers
dunk that
defense
Golden
lets
took
up
the rest of the way. That was a Matt Golden
Bears
touchdown.
defense. The fucking Packers defense let up a 4th down that evidently leads to a touchdown, and then Jordan Love leads them back down the field for McManus to then miss a freaking kick. Like, what else?
I get that. Okay, answer me this.
And brought him into a spot to get the win. He got it into a spot to get him into scoring territory. What else do you want him to do at that point? In the 4th quarter,
1 and 3.
the final 7 minutes, CJ.
I don't give a shit.
Guys, this isn't good.
Guys, stop.
This isn't good television.
This is
Listen,
amazing television.
Well, not
Sorry,
if you can't
but,
make out what each other are saying. Like you're talking over each other. Listen, what kind of weapons has Jordan Love had though? Like that, he lost Kyle Tucker early in the season, who was a legit number 1.
Tucker Kraft.
What did I say?
Kyle
Tucker.
I thought I said Tucker Kraft.
No, you
did not.
Jeez.
Who evidently just left Chicago.
Yeah.
No, I think
wanted him to be a Red Sox, but look, they lost Tucker Kraft, which is that's a big loss for them. You don't have a number 1, and I mean, there's a reason why the Packers really collapsed at the end of this season. Like they lost everything. They lost all of their best defensive pieces. They lost all of their best offense. Like, I don't know. Like, what have we? The surrounding roster really hasn't been good enough for Jordan Love to win a Super Bowl. I don't think he's elite, but he also doesn't. If everything around him is good enough, he can still win.
I get it. And look, I get the weapons argument, especially the Tucker Kraft thing. That was brutal. Like, don't get me wrong. But Green Bay literally just spent a 1st-round pick on a wide receiver for the first time since 20 some odd years. And look, my stance is it's not like he doesn't have anything. Well, I think Romeo Doubs is good. I think Watson's good. There's just a lot of good. They don't have that alpha, and that's something that they haven't had probably since Jordy Nelson, or Devontae Adams.
Oh,
but,
okay.
What?
You said Jordy Nelson and just forgot Devontae Adams.
No. I was trying to think back.
I thought Tuck was about to start debating if Jordy Nelson was an alpha.
No.
We love Jordy Nelson. We can't.
Yeah, Jordy Nelson's a stud.
No. Those are the last 2 number 1s they've had, but I don't know. Still, just 1 and 3. That is. But look, we can debate this all we want, but all I'm going to say is this. Still being up 21-3 and losing, that's nasty work. That's all. I'll just leave it there. Injuries like that excuse can only take you so far when you were up by that much and still lost.
I'll give you the fact that 3rd quarter in a spot where, especially with the Bears not playing all that well in the 3rd quarter themselves, that was a great opportunity to put the game away. I'll give you that. And I apologize as well for cutting you off.
I'll give you the kicker though. That like I said, 7 points left on the field. That's vile.
I'm just saying, the last 7 minutes of the game, or the last 10 minutes of the game, Jordan Love was putting them into scoring position to put the game away, and the defense and their kicker didn't show up to do so or help them out.
Matt LaFleur also didn't help sometimes. Did you see that?
Matt LaFleur, them calling a timeout on defense late in the game, that hurt them.
No one's going to talk about that screenplay that happened with the left tackle.
Yeah, that God, too. Yeah.
That was almost bad. That almost
ended Jordan Love. Sorry, I was going to say Jordan Love and injuries aside. Before we move on, I have a question for all 3 of you. Rapid fire. Where do you stand on Matt LaFleur? Because the more time that goes by, forget my reservations about Jordan Love. I'm done with Matt LaFleur. I really am.
He stays.
I think Matt
this rivalry.
No, it's not he stays. It's just what do you make of him? Is he good? Can he lead them anywhere? I don't know.
We know he's staying. There was a report that came out that said that they're going to work on trying to keep him over the next few days and try to work out a new contract for him. But in terms of Matt LaFleur himself, we were talking about this prior to the show. This Matt LaFleur, when he when they get out to a lead, the play calling is drastically different. And we see that with the Patriots too. So there's that. We talked about it on Friday as well. Matt LaFleur has also gotten you to multiple NFC championships, a lot of playoff appearances, of course. Adam even mentioned it, going from Aaron Rodgers straight to Jordan Love and developing him into the new franchise quarterback. There's still a lot of great things about Matt LaFleur, but when does your time run out of, all right, we've given you this much time, what's going on?
Yeah, LaFleur can kind of, like I said during the Friday episode, LaFleur can stand on his 2 feet as a head coach. He's more of an offensive mind than anything else. He's more of a guy who schemes very well, but as a leader, he's just so-so. But it's like, I mean, like I said, they haven't had the weapons in order to really win games, and they're still doing it. Like, look at what they've been working with over the last few years. Their front office really hasn't given them many good weapons to throw to, and yet their quarterback is still a perennial Pro Bowl contender. And back when they actually had the weapons, when they had Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers playing at his best, they were winning 13 games perennially. So I just think LaFleur needs the toys, and then they'll be right there.
He actually needs a running attack. Josh Jacobs looked horrible on Saturday.
To be fair, he was also banged up. So
yeah, and I don't think it's his fault. He just doesn't have much to work with as far as the O-line is concerned.
Yeah, like you just need to get a little better on the O-line, and I think because like a lot of that third quarter was because Jordan Love didn't really have a lot of time to work with. Like he had guys in his face almost every single drop back. Also, did you get real quick about the Bears before we move on? Did you guys see the report afterwards? And it was like apparently during preseason, during training camp, so they have 2 guys that were part of the 28-3 Super Bowl game. That being Grady Jarrett and I forget, Joe Tooney. And before the season, they went back and watched that game, and had Tooney and Jarrett both speak about their experiences with the game, the winning side and the losing side.
I mean, y'all saw what I related that to, so it's like it's interesting. Yeah. Like I wouldn't want to go back on something so traumatic. But
oh yeah.
So if I all the power to Grady Jarrett, but like I wouldn't want to be in the same room as freaking,
They're on the same team now. They have to let it go, but damn, that was heartbreaking.
I'm not going back on. If Ben Johnson asked me to rehash the past there, I'm saying fuck you. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Like as much as it sucks for fans, it's even worse for players because they're like, that's traumatic. That's like they feel like they want it, their lifetime achievement. They've dreamed about it since they were kids, and just have it snatched away from them. Just have it snatched away from them last second. Like that's tough to just go back on. Just saying.
Yeah, no, it is. All right. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get into the Sunday games. This is the Fumblerooski Podcast.
It may not have always showed it in the stat sheet, but you can see him making throws when he needs to make the throws.
Back-to-back games where he has 3 touchdowns. Someone's got to get that 6 or 7 spot.
He's an elite wide receiver as a rookie.
Truly a lose-lose scenario for both sides.
Welcome back to the Fumblerooski Podcast. Let's get into the Sunday slate from the wild card round. Starting out with the 1:00 game, the Bills get the win over the Jaguars. Another masterclass from the NFL schedule makers, or not the schedule makers, but the script writers. Buffalo gets the win 27-24. Let's start with the winning team first, the Bills. This was Josh Allen turning into Superman. He didn't want to admit that he was hurt, but holy shit, he was banged up, and he was making plays out of his ass this game. We saw a lot of careless Josh Allen, but we also saw a lot of really good Josh Allen at the same time. Those two tush push QB sneak plays, unbelievable. The one that took him 15 yards and almost into the end zone for a touchdown. Like, Jacksonville's defense, first off, they gave up on that play. Horribly gave up on that play. Never mind that, but the Bills' offensive linemen, the leverage that they had, low man wins, the leverage that they had on those Jaguars defensive linemen, unreal. Just pushing them back at will. Oh, grown man football. That's what I'd love to see. Hey, other than that, what else can you say? This was Josh Allen at his finest. Adam, you seem like you're chomping at the bit to talk about this, so we'll start with you.
I did preface this before the game on Friday, but Josh Allen has a weirdly good record in shootouts, and we just saw that. And it was such a gutsy win when you think about how beat up that Bills team was. How many times did Josh Allen go to the blue tent? Like 2-3 times?
Mm-hmm.
Like that guy took a beating with hands, with concussions. It was insane. And yet he still hung in there and was able to win the game and like win it convincingly. That was absolutely unbelievable. But he literally, I can't remember a quarterback who's played hero ball as well as Josh Allen can do it. With the lack of talent this Bills team has had on offense the past couple of years, I can see why he won MVP last year, because he puts the team on his back with very little offensive talent around him. They hardly have anything on defense, incompetent coaching, and yet they're in contention year in, year out. This is the type of roster where if you have like 2/3 of the starting quarterbacks around the league on this team, you may not even have a winning record. This team went 12-5, went on the road against a really balanced and talented Jacksonville team, and they beat him. It was unbelievable. He did it by himself. Unbelievable stuff.
Tuck?
First and foremost, congratulations to the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen once again puts on his superhero cape and shows you why he is their franchise quarterback and one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I don't know how he's able to considerately do it with the talent surrounding him, but he's able to pull off these miracles, and the Jags are what we all suspected them to be. I thought they were going to be a little bit better, but unfortunately, they just couldn't get the job done. Trevor Lawrence threw multiple interceptions. So I think one of them was like egregiously bad, but all in all, Josh Allen got the win. Trevor Lawrence got the loss, and up and away the Bills go. Who do they face? The Patriots, right? Or
Face
who do they face? The Broncos.
It's on the banner here. I make these great banners.
Sorry, they face the Broncos. So I think that'll be a very interesting game to see Josh Allen go up against that Broncos defense in Mile High, where they look unbeatable. So I want to see that. Congrats to the Bills, though. They deserved it.
CJ?
Every time you think, all right, you got the Bills put away, they come back. The Bills are kind of like, at least later now, maybe second only to like the Bears as far as being like a second half team or just insane comebacks and dancing through the raindrops. Even though they won, I feel so bad for Josh Allen. We know he has that nagging foot injury. Now he's jammed his hand. He's maybe has a concussion. It's never Josh Allen, versus the Jaguars. It's Josh Allen versus Sean McDermott and his defense and the Jaguars. Oh my God, man. You got to tip your hat to him. It's like, this is insane what he's been able to do. He really is a good quarterback. And what I love is that he's playing with this real, like, legitimate sense of urgency, Like, there's this, like, literal, like, and I know I've said this before, but I think, like, just on how you can see the look in his eyes and how he plays, I think even he knows that low key it might be now or never. Because your boogeyman in Mahomes is gone. And like he knows that if you don't win it this year, he probably never will. And when I say Adam, I can shake my head all I want, but just hear me out. When I say
29.
Shut up. I don't care. McDermott specifically is what I mean. Like, he's not going to win with McDermott if he doesn't.
With McDermott, yeah, I agree. But
I misspoke. I actually misspoke. I meant if it's not this year, then he's never going to win with McDermott. Like, it's going to have to go. And I will maintain anything less than a Super Bowl victory this year means McDermott has to go. McDermott still just some horrific play calling, but Allen's literally just able to turn water into wine. Like, he is, like, I've described the relationship between Allen and McDermott to being like Rodgers and McCarthy, and I'm standing on that. I will not hear any argument to the contrary. Anybody who disagrees with this just has a truth deficit. McDermott is so horrible, and Allen just saves him again and again and again. Yeah, but as for the Jags, my question is, where do they go from here? Because Liam Cohen, a lot of people are saying he's the real coach of the year. I personally disagree. But but seriously, where exactly, does he go? Because, I mean, is Brian Thomas Jr., he's going through a really nasty sophomore slump, but is he going to return to form? Can Travis Hunter actually play both sides of the ball? Personally, I got to say, dude, to hell with your two-way ability. Pick a side and stick with it. That's where I would go, honestly. So now what? The thing with the Jags is they went 13-4. A lot of people need to sit back and realize that the Jacksonville Jaguars went 13-4. Do you know what that means? You now have the dreaded word expectations. And I feel like we see this every so often where the Jaguars just go balls to the wall one year, have an insane season, they get expectations, and then they just completely crumble. For example, remember they made the playoffs for the first time with Lawrence, had that insane comeback against the Chargers, and then proceeded to do fuck all the next year? Or
started
how
7-2 and then lost out.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's right. Or remember Saxonville? Didn't even make the playoffs the next year. And that one weird year.
That one was a little different.
Yeah. That one weird year where they had Mark Brunell. They played lights out. And the next year, I don't even know if they made the playoffs. So they had this weird cycle.
You're thinking of Byron Leftwich and David
Byron Leftwich. Thank you. Yeah.
Look, I'm
just saying, they have this weird cycle where they just peak and then they crash the next year. They need some consistency. And I think Liam Cohen's the perfect coach to give them consistency, but now you have expectations. I want to see what they do in the future.
Now you have Trevor Lawrence and you have a more offense-friendly, more Trevor Lawrence-friendly coaching scheme to work with. Before you had Press Taylor and Doug Peterson. Right. You weren't doing much with that.
Yeah,
and as far as Saxonville goes, that's kind of – didn't we all kind of look at that and say that was a bit of a fluky year? We know why they were good, but it wasn't sustainable. Relying on defense, running the ball, and mediocre quarterback play, it doesn't last very long.
I hear you. I do. No, you're right. But who really predicted Leonard Fournette to just fall off a cliff, at least until he got to Tampa? And that defense, that was a terrifying defense, and they were really just a one-year wonder. 2 years later, almost all of them were gone. Fluky, yes, but once again, they still had expectations. If you heard all the talk, they mostly Jalen Ramsey and Leonard Fournette were doing that offseason. You thought they were going to be the next big thing. And regardless whether or not it was fluky, which you are right, it was, they still had expectations.
Well, that's part of why I say it's not sustainable, because in football, there's so many moving parts that you just need that one constant, which is the quarterback. And they had Blake Bortles.
Oh, no. You are absolutely right. But I'm just saying, there were still expectations. But I understand what you mean.
Doc, you want to chime in on any of this?
Nah, I agree with both sides on it. The Jags do have moments of where they're peaking and then they crater, but I think this is going to be more consistent because I like Liam Cohen as a coach. From how they started the season to how they finished the season is worlds away. I think the only problem is they don't have a first-round pick, so they have to be cognizant of that. But outside of it, I think they'll be just fine once they get Travis Hunter back because they were doing all this without him. But I think they're going to make him decide whether or not to be on offense or defense.
Yeah. And I think outside of Brian Thomas and Travis Hunter, like this is still not a bad wide receiver core too. You know, Parker Washington showed out really well today. He's had some good flashes throughout the year. Jacoby Myers, you know, everyone forgets he's still a solid wide receiver, but he just had a bad game. He had a bad game and he wasn't that productive after the trade from Vegas, but he can be a guy that can be very productive for you. Am I wrong? Am I very wrong about this, Adam?
No.
I just think Jacoby Myers had a great year once he went to Jacksonville. Like he put up some of his best career numbers there. I agree he had a bad night, or rather bad afternoon, but like
hey, you know what? If I'm speaking out of terms, let me know.
He was probably their best offensive player going into that week. Like I'll give it to him. I never thought he had it.
I'm just trying to find his numbers right now. 42 catches, 483 yards, 3 touchdowns.
It sounds bad, but when he was on the offense for the Jaguars, he actually performed.
Yeah.
So.
I'll agree with that. I'll definitely agree with that. Yeah, I mean, there was games where he was getting at least 6 like the first game after he got traded, which was the game they blew that lead to the Texans, he only had 3 targets. After that, no less than 6. So he's a guy that you can very comfortably throw the ball to. All right, let's move on from this game. Going to the next game on the Sunday slate, the 49ers beating the defending champs, the Eagles, 23-19. They will head to Seattle to take on the Seahawks in the divisional round, but at what cost? George Kittle, torn Achilles. He went down, second quarter, third quarter, something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
He went down somewhere in the middle of the game, and it was pretty evident that it was an Achilles injury. They said it pretty quickly, and then Shanahan, right after the game, confirmed it. Torn Achilles for Kittle, so he's done for the year and for next year as well. So this is a bit of an interesting spot now in terms of Kittle's career, which we can talk about that later on. But, I mean, Kyle Shanahan, man, once again, getting it done on the road, by the way, getting the revenge from 22 when Brock Purdy tore his UCL and couldn't throw the freaking ball. Brock Purdy had a good game besides 2 interceptions, 262 yards, 18 for 31, 2 touchdowns. And they didn't come close to even winning time of possession either. Eagles had the ball for 11 more minutes, and this defense, despite all the injuries, continues to find a freaking way. I think CJ may have said it, Kyle Shanahan, coach of the year type beat. But unfortunately, the 49ers keep selling their soul to try to keep Christian McCaffrey healthy, which leads to more guys being out for the season. But thoughts from you fellas. CJ, let's start with you.
I'm a huge Mike Vrabel fan. I think he should be coach of the year. If there's anyone else I think deserves it more, we talked about this off camera, then I think a runner-up should be Kyle Shanahan for just working sheer necromancy to keep the 49ers just involved. Think about it. Mykel Williams, Fred Warner, what's his name? Oh, yeah, Nick Bosa. Your entire defense getting pillaged, like your entire team just getting all their assets stripped during the offseason. Brandon Ayuk is probably done as a 49er.
He is bad.
He is.
Like literally everyone but Christian McCaffrey is getting hurt. Deebo Samuel is also gone. Ricky Pearsall's hurt. George Kittle just tore his Achilles. Some injuries on the O-line as well. Like I said, everyone but McCaffrey. For once, McCaffrey's not the one getting injured. And still, it's just game planning. And also Brock Purdy stepping up in a huge way that's given them the lead. And that's given them like any kind of advantage. And honestly, Lincoln Financial Field in Philly, the Link as it's also known, is just it's a tough place to play. You know how Eagles fans are. They're nuts, except for Mike. We love Mike, and Mike, I'm sorry, man. I really am. But like I said, just that was some brilliant maneuvering by Shanahan and by Purdy. Purdy's really been stepping up when they need him most, especially at the end there. I can't hate that at all. That's really what it is. But then there's Philly. I'm angry on behalf of their fans. You have all that talent. You have that roster. And you just won the Super Bowl, I might add. And you just said, one and done, I think, would be a very good use of this roster. It's something that I learned recently. Maybe I already knew it and forgot it. The hirings last season, before they won the Super Bowl, of Vic Fangio and Kellen Moore were Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie hires, not Nick Sirianni hires. You want to know who was a Nick Sirianni hire? Kevin Petula. Mm-hmm. And Chris, remember you and I were talking a different episode about how Roseman had to sit down with Sirianni and said, if you can't get your head out of your ass, you're going to be gone. I'm going to have to hire the coordinators. Methinks it's time we have that again. I really do think it's time they have that chat again. Kevin Petullo should have no place on the Eagles. And look, I'm aware that he and Sirianni are friends, and that was like a big promotion for him because that's Sirianni's guy. But he's got to go. He has to go. The way he has mangled this offense should get him sent to death row for murder. But there's one more piece to this puzzle. By the way, A.J. Brown.
I was wondering.
All the social media drama, the endless cryptic quotes, the endless whining that he hasn't gotten the ball, and you had not one, but two egregious drops. Catches that he makes, they said on the broadcast 99 out of 100 times. Really? Maybe this is why you're not getting the ball. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a phenomenal receiver. I really think he's still got a lot left. But you can't throw all these fits for the ball and be a jackass clown on social media just to turn around and do this. It makes you look terrible. Heads have to roll. I think it's a matter at this point. I know I'm like, oh, nothing ever happens. But I think at this point, it really is a matter of when, not if, A.J. Brown is traded. And Kevin Petullo has to go.
I said, me and my dad had a hilarious moment last night right after the game ended. And I was like, get that man on my team right now. And my dad was like, you just went on about how he fucking sucks for dropping that pass. I was like, yeah, he's still a damn good receiver though. Adam, what say you?
I think CJ and I end up disagreeing on who should win Coach of the Year, but I think we definitely agree on Kyle Shanahan's candidacy. And this guy, the shit that he's gone through on that roster between, injuries, having to work with Mac Jones for half the season and actually putting up really good numbers and somehow having the chance to land the number 1 seed in week 18. What a season it has been. And I got to hand it to him. I did not think the 49ers were capable of going across the country and going into that hornet's nest, which is Philadelphia, and somehow winning. I didn't think they would do it. They did it. And they did so while having the crap beat out of them. And I think this is going to end eventually because they're just too beat up. They just don't have the toys to do it. But they've earned my respect. It's pretty hard for a warm weather team to go into a cold weather environment, especially Philly, and win. Especially beat up, by the way. Like, they were missing everybody. So,
I mean, we're acting surprised, but San Francisco under Kyle Shanahan has done this like numerous times.
not in there.
Not in Philly, but they've done it in Green Bay. They literally have. But am I wrong?
They had more talent back then.
The only reason they didn't do it against Philly is because they literally didn't have a quarterback. They were relying on Christian McCaffrey at points in time.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
But I'm saying San Francisco has walked into a cold environment, a cold, tough environment to get a win.
Yeah, they've done that. First and foremost, congratulations to the San Francisco 49ers. They absolutely deserve this game from head to shoulders. Brock Purdy played well. Kyle Shanahan should be a candidacy for Coach of the Year because, quite frankly, what he's doing with less is astounding, considering he was almost the number one seed this year with what he's been dealing with. Without Brock Purdy, without George Kittle, without Juwan Jennings for times, without Christian McCaffrey for times, without George Kittle for times, with that banged up defense that he has, without Fred Warner, without numerous players, he has still managed to almost get them to the number one seed and get a win in Philly. Congrats to Kyle Shanahan. He deserved this victory. Now on to the Eagles. That OC needs to go today. A.J. Brown might need to get traded, and Jalen Hurts needs to be on fraud watch because this is unbelievable what they keep doing on the offensive side of the ball. You guys have Saquon Barkley. You have a competent enough O-line. I would assume a decent quarterback and an all-pro type of wide receiver. And you have an amazing wide receiver too in Devontae Smith. How are you this ass consistently? I've watched only a few games this year of the Eagles, and every game I keep seemingly watched, they are ass. The only one where I don't think they're ass offensively is the game against the Vikings, surprisingly. They just keep on playing down. I wouldn't say down to competition. They're just playing below their standards. The game against Buffalo, they scored 14 points in the first half. They couldn't get anything going offensively in the second half because for some reason, Jalen Hurts just couldn't throw the ball to save his life. Against the Chargers, Jalen Hurts had his worst game as an Eagle. It was one of the worst games since 2012. Oh, Jalen Hurts has just been playing awful. And then A.J. Brown. You cannot complain about wanting the ball and then have a performance like this when you're dropping numerous passes. You just can't have it because people will look at you crazy for doing it. Just keep your mouth shut. Keep it in-house. Don't bring it to the media because when you have a bad game, they're going to look at you crazy. I don't understand how this season could be this awful with this amount of pieces surrounding. I don't know how. I don't know why. But I think it's just time for Kevin Patullo to just go. He should have been gone halfway through the season, but we usually allow coaches to finish the job. And quite frankly, this was an abysmal job. He took chicken salad and turned it into chicken shit. I don't know how he was able to do that. The Eagles should have finished better than where they were. They should have been fighting for the number one seed, but instead they had mediocre playing on offense, and they robbed that defense of a great season. They should have advanced, but because of that offense not being able to do anything, this is where it ends up. Jalen Hurts finished with 168 yards. That means he couldn't pass for over 100 yards in the first half nor the second half because he finished with 75 yards in the second half. This is bad. They need to fix this in Philly if they ever think about winning another Super Bowl. They need to get rid of Kevin Patullo.
It's going to be a very interesting offseason, to say the least, for Philly, for all the reasons we just listed right there. Real quick, before we move on to the final game from Sunday, I think we can say right now that it's very slim chances that San Francisco wins next week because now George Kittle's out.
They have Seattle, which is going to be
Seattle.
you're gonna get punched in the mouth by them.
Yeah, especially seeing how they played Week 18.
I mean, the only path to victory I see, and we don't have to get into it, is they have to find a way to make Sam Darnold see ghosts, because that is Seattle's only Achilles. That's their only weakness, is their quarterback has a major choking problem.
Yeah. All right. Sunday night game, Patriots win in a sloppy one, 16-3 against the Chargers. Justin Herbert sacked 6 times. They barely got 200 yards of total yards. This was just a messy one from start to finish. Drake Maye didn't have his cleanest game. He had a great game on the ground. Ended up 17 for 29, 268 yards, touchdown, interception, 66 yards rushing as well. But he also fumbled the ball twice. One of them was lost. And evidently, this was a defensive slugfest that was ultimately won by the Patriots defense, because at the end of the day, the Chargers O-line just could not hold up anymore. Justin Herbert was pressured, I want to say 19 times. Of course, mentioned 6 of them sacks, 5 total QB hits. Outside of that, it was pardon me, I'm looking at the wrong one, 11 QB hits. So that was basically the main story in this one, was that Chargers offense going to do anything. And I also point to, Patriots, Drake Maye throws that weird interception in the first quarter. Chargers set up beautifully in the red zone, and they come away with turning the ball over on 4 downs. So I see that as a huge turning point in being like, well, Chargers, there's no way they're winning this game. That's kind of how I pointed it out, or how I thought. I'm afraid to send it to you guys, because this could very much be war of different feelings as Pats fans. We'll start with we'll start with the unbiased one in the room. Tuck, what say you?
First and foremost, congratulations to the New England Patriots. More specifically to that New England defense, because
let's start with the Patriots first, and then we'll move to the Chargers after.
Fair enough. I'll start with the Patriots. From what I saw, Drake Maye, it's his first time in the playoffs, so he looked a little rough. But once he got comfortable, he was making plays, making throws. I'm thinking, oh my God, here he comes, here he goes. He made a few plays, but a couple of times he overthrew his receivers. Like that one time when Hunter Henry was in the end zone and just threw a horrible ball. I thought that one was not Drake-like. But all in all, I think he played fairly decent and did more than enough to get them the win. So congrats to Drake Maye. I thought Ramondre Stevenson showed up when Trey Hendrickson couldn't get things going. I thought this was a game for Ramondre Stevenson, because that Chargers defense is no joke. I thought the defense that they had was the main contributor as to why they were winning, because, good Lord, Justin Herbert looked like he was on suicide watch the way they were abusing him back there. 6 sacks, 11 quarterback hits, 19 pressures.
30.
I look back at that game.
30 pressures. Yeah.
It was 30.
Yep.
Oh my. Yeah. No wonder they didn't win. That defense looked amazing, even though they've had a few penalties, like the one on Carlton Davis, which was like ticky-tack in my opinion. But all in all, I thought that defense looked astounding on Sunday night. I thought they deserved to get that victory, and congrats to the Patriots. But we said we're going to move to the Chargers later, so I'll just stick to the Patriots. Good one for the Patriots. Now they're moving on and facing the winner of Houston versus Pittsburgh, which is Houston in my opinion. But
yeah, we'll talk about that later this episode as well, since we're recording this before the Steelers Texans game. So we'll get to that at the end of the episode. But who wants to start first?
Adam, you can.
So at hindsight, this was a type of game that really made me sick to my stomach watching. There really wasn't much offense in the first half, and even in the second half, there wasn't too much. The defense helped them win the game, but it was, the Chargers were missing almost all of their offensive line. However, the more time that passed, the more that game marinated, the more I liked it. Because for starters, the Patriots can win games without Drake Maye playing a great ball game. Secondly, Drake Maye, while being jittery, in the second half he settled down. He went 11 for 14 with a touchdown in the second half. He settled in and he played a really nice game at the end. And he really made some great plays with his legs. He has really developed as a scrambler as the season has gone on. But listen, what I'm encouraged by is that Drake Maye on a bad day can still make plays when it matters most. It's a clutch gene. It's something that I'm very encouraged by. And there's a tweet here by a Boston Sports Insider that I wanted to read. And it kind of encapsulates how I feel about this game. So in the middle of the Tom Brady years, the Patriots went from 2005 to 2013 without a title, mostly because they could not win the kind of game the Patriots played last night. This season, while winning 14 games during the regular season, the Patriots did not have a single victory in which they scored fewer than 23 points. They just did that last night. So they're finding new ways to win, and they are showing that they are much more balanced and that their quarterback can make plays when they absolutely need to. I refer to Super Bowl 53 a lot, not because it was a good game, but because it's a bad game by the quarterback who scraped his shit together at the end of the game and put together one of the best drives I've ever seen him make. He made some unbelievable throws to Gronkowski, and he is part of the reason they won that game. Now, he had a bad game, but he played a part in the victory. And that's what I felt about Drake Maye. Not a good game at all, but he settled in and he made the throws he needed to make. That Hunter Henry throw was one of the best throws in this entire postseason so far. And that's important for the Patriots going forward because sometimes you just need to win ugly, especially in the postseason. But that's my take.
I was really happy that Hunter Henry got a touchdown last night. That especially going against his former team, that brought joy to me. CJ.
I think this was an important game for Drake Maye. When it's not going your way, your offensive line is being exposed for the more youth aspect of it, especially on that left side. I think Will Campbell's good. Jared Wilson's inconsistent, but the talent is there. When that's not going your way, when you have a pick that's really kind of not your fault, it was a tip drill circus catch pick. When you fumble twice because, your offensive line decides not to block that time, it's easy to just curl up into a ball. But no, he made it happen. He made plays happen with his legs, and he had that beautiful catch to Hunter Henry, or beautiful throw to Hunter Henry, where he caught that right over Derwin James, who's a pretty dangerous defender in his own right. That Chargers defense is severely underrated. Tuli Pelotu was like 6 in sacks. He had like 12 or 13 on the year. That defensive backfield is really underrated. And it wasn't a pretty game, but you have to admire how he handled himself. Many quarterbacks would shrink in that moment. He did not. But how about the defense? As for that much maligned red zone defense, they clutched up, literally stopped the Chargers on a 4th and 2. They got into the red zone again. You held them to a field goal. And Justin Herbert, who are serious about the O-line, he has Ladd McConkey. He's got Last Dance Keenan Allen and Quentin Johnston, who has developed hands all of a sudden. They just kept a lid on him the whole game. Like that's really impressive. And, you had Andy Borregales, the rookie, a warm weather kicker, which say what about warm weather quarterbacks. Warm weather kickers are even scarier. And he came up and he did his job. This was a complete team win. And I think it was important because the Patriots have shown, right? They have shown that they can completely curb stomp opponents, right? We saw the Cleveland game, the Carolina game, among others. they have shown that they can win in a shootout. Think the Tampa Bay game, most notably, or the first Miami Dolphins game. They have shown that they can come from behind. Look at the Baltimore Ravens game, for example. So what's also important is the ability to win ugly. You're going to accept that you made mistakes. You have to have a short memory, and you just got to put your head down, in the words of Mike Vrabel, spill a little blood. Also, before we move to the Chargers, I need to give a shout out to Milton Williams, man. What an absolute demon, worth every cent. Second time this year, he himself has called game.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I don't have much else to really add on the Pats, really. I mean, this is first playoff game for Drake Maye, and as mentioned, played great in the second half. So I think and the Patriots have been a little bit of can be a bit of a one-half team sometimes too. And a lot of those times they've been a second half team, which is a little stressful, but sometimes it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Adam, what the hell are we doing here, man?
Hey, be very careful.
Yeah. What is going on?
He's going to the basement.
Just right in the middle of podcast. This is great podcasting right
Well,
here.
you have to imagine Doug is harassing him and wants his baked ziti.
Potentially.
That could be the reason.
Yeah. All right. Chargers. Obviously, we mentioned how great the Pats defense was. But all around, I mean, this Chargers offense fizzled out as the season went on. Never mind the offensive line being shit, but I mean, the receivers did not help Herbert that much out at all in this game. Chargers defense, they stood up. They stood on their heads a lot in this game. They forced a lot of bad plays for the Patriots, but at the end of the day, the Pats just grinded them out. Obviously, the big story, the big question, big talking points, Justin Herbert. Is this another case of if man, or does he actually have a case? I believe he kind of has a case here this time around, but
it's if man.
It's no. We're not doing if man for him. Not this game.
He's a perennial playoff choker. And
if you want to do it last year, that's fine. If you want to do it for the first time he was in the playoffs and he choked against the Jaguars, that's fine. I can't do it this game. This man got sacked 6 times, and you want me to hold that against him? Do you see what he is?
Pressured 30. No, I will say that Justin Herbert, there were probably times where he had the yips and held on to the ball a little too long, if that's the direction we want to go with.
You know who was sacked 5 times?
Drake Maye.
Yeah. You know who also had the crap beat out of him?
Drake Maye.
Josh Allen. He fucking won the game all by himself.
Drake Maye but yes, true.
Well, Drake Maye too, but listen, sometimes you're going to have the crap beat out of you, and especially in January, because you're going to face stingier defenses. And it's the same deal every single year with Justin Herbert. Really good in the regular season. Can't get it done in the postseason. I mean, this is just because his only achievement is dating Madison Beer.
I'm sick.
That's the list. And then that one 5,000-yard season where he didn't even make the playoffs. So I don't know. That's for all the box score watchers out there who are like, well, the stats. He throws a lot of touchdown passes. Yay, we fucking idiots.
I hate if man in this case. This man has no O-line. You guys can say Josh Allen did it all himself, but he has a better O-line than what this man is working with. Do you guys see his left tackle? Do you guys see the way Mekhi Becton is playing? Bobby Hart is out there on the field playing actual playoff minutes, and you guys are going to look me in my eyes and say Justin Herbert is any way comparable to what he is any way comparison to the O-lines that even Drake Maye has, or even Josh Allen? We're really going to do this to Justin Herbert.
Tuck, I'll go real quick just to further your point. I mean, Josh Allen is getting beat up because of the way he fucking runs the ball.
Yes, it has nothing to do with the passing or him being hit.
It was
all
happening in
about
the pocket too. As he was throwing, he was taking hits on the hand and he was getting drilled in the chest. It was all over the place.
You guys are not, he is trying when the running
I'm
attack
sure he is.
No, I'm not even saying like he's trying like in the norm. I'm like he is running the ball when they don't have a rushing attack. He is throwing the ball when they can't get. He can't catch the ball and throw the ball at the same damn time. His receivers aren't getting open when they're in man. They couldn't get open against Christian Gonzalez and Carlton Davis. They should have been able to get open. The only time they got semi-open was that pass interference against Carlton Davis. Outside of that, no, nothing. They gave him nothing to do, nothing to operate with. Amarion Hampton got injured. He couldn't go because he only played for 2 plays, and then they said, no, can't go. He's left with nothing, no running attack, no passing attack because no one can get open or catch when they can get open. What do you want this man to do? You guys can say Drake Maye got sacked 5 times. You guys can say Drake Maye was harassed in the pocket.
Probably because he was.
He was, but not like Justin Herbert. You guys see he's rolling to his left. His offensive line gets pushed back 6 yards. 6 yards in the pocket. Not 1, not 2. All 5 O-linemen get pushed back they get pushed back in the pocket, and he has nowhere to go, and that's how the fumble happens, and you guys get the ball at their 45. Justin Herbert doesn't deserve the abuse he is getting today. I'm not calling him if man. This is not fair to him when his whole team doesn't show up. He showed up. His team just didn't. And this man is injured to hell and back, playing with a god-awful O-line that has now been this was the 8th game he got sacked 4 more times in the season. Give this man some damn help. What do you want from him? Whatever.
I mean,
who's the most sacked quarterback in football this year?
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Who is one of the most sacked quarterbacks in football this year?
One of the most, because I think Ward's number 1.
Drake May's higher.
I believe he actually is, yes.
I'm just saying, look, I think Justin Herbert's a good quarterback.
That's a lie. It's Geno Smith.
Oh, I thought it was I guess the only to get better.
I know that May's somewhere in the top 3, top 4, but look, I think Justin Herbert's a good quarterback. And I think some of his best ball is ahead of him. But the fact he can't do it in the postseason, I can't get that out. I can't get it out of my head. I can't get past it.
Herbert is 3rd and Maye is 4th.
Okay.
So they're literally the same. That works.
Okay. This man lost his O-line this year, and we're just going to act like, oh, okay.
Well, when he had a line, he threw 4 picks. So what are we doing here? Like when his all-pro line was playing at a high level last year, it was a really.
We're talking about this year, Adam. We're talking about this year.
Okay.
Well, Justin Herbert's the same quarterback. He's the same guy
with not the same weapons or line around him.
Hey guys, can I say my thing?
Sure.
I got some insight for you. I want you, if you're able, to look out the window and look at the sky.
I can't.
It's not a bird. It's not a plane. It's If Man. He's back. Yay. Oh my God. It's If Man. Around this time every year he returns and we laugh. You see, first of all, there's one more thing. There's one thing I want to say about New England first. By the way, does this count as a real team, haters? Because all I see now are people moving the goalposts, say, oh, yeah, well, the Chargers suck anyway. Like, yeah, keep making excuses. The fact they won a playoff game single-handedly puts the schedule narrative to bed.
All right, bring it back to the Chargers.
But I just want to say, I forgot to say that. But for the Chargers, Justin Herbert is the literal definition of the term, if it's not one thing, it's the other. Because do you know what this game was? Tuck, you keep bringing up the O-line. I say, another hypothetical win for Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert might be the greatest hypothetical quarterback of all time. Every goddamn year, It's an excuse. I'm done with excuses. Stop being if and start becoming is. Don't tell me what if, tell me what it is. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm done.
I mean,
so
Josh
done.
Allen
It
has
used to
a
be
worse
coaching.
situation. Like
Unironically,
Josh Allen
yeah.
has a much worse situation, and he makes it work.
I'm
It
not
does. See, here's
doing
the problem.
this with you. I'm not
No. Hear me out. Every year, it's the same. Oh, but the coaching. So he gets a good coach. Oh, but the receivers, they get McConkey and Quentin Johnson's able to develop hands. But the defense, they have a good defense. But the line, if you are telling me that the only way Justin Herbert can win a playoff game is to have everything go his way, I have news for you. He ain't winning shit.
Literally nothing went his way. The coaching. They had Greg Roman as an OC.
Every year, it's a new excuse. No more excuses. I'm so done. That is why we call him If Man, because you say anything, it's from the Chargers fans. And let me just say, before this game, all nine Chargers fans crawled out from under their rocks and were talking some heinous shit online. Now look, yeah. I hereby exile you all back to under your rocks, you useless chuds. And let me inform you, Tuck, I really need you to understand here. Every year, it is a new excuse. It was coaching. It was receivers. Like, I don't think you understand this. No quarterback is going to have a perfect situation. Drake Maye went through the ringer and delivered a clutch touchdown to Hunter Henry. Josh Allen was getting brutalized every play and had a clutch comeback win. Brock Purdy has nothing. The entire team around him is terrible except for Christian McCaffrey. And it gets to a point where why can all these other quarterbacks do it, but Justin Herbert can't? Why can't he? Because look, I'm old enough to remember when they had a 3-score lead over the Jacksonville Jaguars and choked. I'm old enough to remember him throwing 4 interceptions in a game against Houston. And by the way, this game, a lot of people were saying, oh, the Patriots are soft. They're that soft. Why didn't they win? Oh, also, he had another thing going his way. We were literally talking about the stat that favors West Coast teams in primetime games on the East Coast because the jet lag wouldn't affect them as bad. Sports Illustrated literally did a whole article about that, and he couldn't even take advantage of that. I'm so done. Do not ever, Chargers fans, all 9 of you, tell me he is a top 5 quarterback. And it's like, oh, but if. No. Stop being if, start being is. I'm done. If you need everything to go right, then you're never going to win because adversity is part of the game. I'm done with the excuses. No more. Until you win a playoff game, you will be called If Man. And don't you shake your head at me, Justin. It's
what
just
do you want? I'm not arguing about the game.
I want him to overcome adversity.
I'm not arguing.
Done. Like,
all right.
If it's not one thing, it's the other.
Guys,
like,
I think we're repeating ourselves now. Like
at some
we're
point,
running around in circles.
I'm just saying,
we
like,
should
at
put a
some
cap
point,
on it.
like, it's got something has to.
I can't hear you,
Chris, you're muted.
The linesmen are coming in on this one. I think everyone's made some great points about this. I think the last thing that I'll throw in is that we are about to be, what are we in year 7? About to be in year 7 for Justin Herbert, and no playoff wins.
We're going to be in year 8 next year.
Year 8. Exactly. That's the issue at hand here. That's the issue at hand, is that we're about to be at year 8, and for a lot of other quarterbacks, that's when we say,
7.
hey,
7 might be 7.
Next year's
But
year
still.
7.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're about to be in year 7, and at this point, look at guys like Kyler Murray. He hasn't or he doesn't have a playoff win yet. He's only made the playoff once.
Mm-hmm.
We've already established what kind of quarterback he is. Well, we're about to be in year 7 for Justin Herbert. We've established what kind of quarterback he is. He's a top 10 quarterback, but once it comes playoff time, he's just not that guy anymore. And there's a lot of great quarterbacks that were great in the regular season, but that's just how it is. All right. We're going to take a quick break. Well, for us, it's going to be a pretty long break. For you guys, it'll be a quick break. When we come back, we'll get into the Monday night wildcard game, the Texans and the Steelers. This is the Fumblerooski Podcast.
Always showed it in the stat sheet, but you can see him making throws when he needs to make the throws.
Back-to-back games where he has 3 touchdowns. Someone's got to get that 6 or 7 spot.
He's an elite wide receiver as a rookie.
Truly a lose-lose scenario for both sides.
Welcome back to the Fumblerooski Podcast. The Texans get the win against the Steelers 30-6. Well, this was an ugly first half that then saw the Texans, well, very slow third quarter as well, no points scored, and then the Texans decided, yeah, we could score on both sides of the football. That's right. 23 points in the fourth quarter, including a defensive touchdown. Boy, Texans defense showed up. Steelers offense didn't. Steelers defense showed up for the majority of this game, but Aaron Rodgers and the rest of them, no shows. There are no shows tonight at home.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously there's a couple different things to really speak on. I mean, what more is there to really say about Houston besides the fact that their defense is disgusting? But Nico Collins did get a head injury in the game, so that could be a little interesting for next week against the Pats.
Could be.
What are we thinking about the Texans here?
First things first, congratulations to the Houston Texans. And all in all, they're kind of better than their the defense is better than the offense at scoring points because they scored 14 points on defense and the offense could barely get 10.
Yep.
No, 14. 16, my fault. My point is this: that defense is good. They're very good. They can generate pressure with just 4 people, and they don't need to blitz. So they're a problem to deal with. And they got an all-pro on one side and in Derek Stingley, and they have a very good corner on the other side in Carl Lassiter. That defense is very, very hard to beat. And Aaron Rodgers just felt like he was under duress the entire game. He didn't feel safe. He didn't feel comfortable, and he just couldn't get out of the blocks early. He got the 3 points, but then it just became a struggle just to get the point. That defense can take far, but I swear to you, and I said it in the group chat earlier, during about halftime, CJ Stroud is selling this game. And he almost sold this game because he had 2 fumbles lost and an interception. Against any other team, this actually might be a loss. But because the Pittsburgh Steelers are so inept on offense, they were able to escape this. So all in all, it's a solid win, but they have a lot to clean up if they think they're going to beat the Patriots next, Saturday?
Sunday
at 3. Okay. They have a lot to clean up before Sunday at 3 if they think they're going to win.
Yeah. No, CJ Stroud played like dick today. That's
he
for
did.
sure. CJ?
The Texans have the scariest defense in the league. We knew this coming into the playoffs, and it's just been confirmed again. They just have just 11. I don't even know what to call them. Just 11 just horrifying people just all over the ball, just scary. Just like picture 11 horror movie villains, put them on defense, and that's the Houston Texans. The highlights, of course, include Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter, Aziz Al-Shaair, I had to joke, Henry To'o, who's really underrated. Not a lot of people put a lot of respect on his name there. Jalen Petrie, Kamari Lassiter, and Derek Stingley. Just absolute, just killing field, that defense. And look, defense travels. Defense wins championships, but oh my God. That offense makes me so angry. because I have defended CJ Stroud for a while. But what the hell's going on with CJ Stroud? Why? Once again, I know I'm a broke record saying this, but I'm just gonna say it again. He has not recaptured the magic of his rookie year. I really don't want to say maybe defenses have just kind of got him figured out and he hasn't adjusted, but what else can it be? They give him receivers. They try to get him more running backs. I mean, I refuse to believe Woody Marks is bad. Some of his, I mean, you could kind of blame the O-line, but he was struggling before Laramie Tunsil got traded. He went from what's his name, Bobby Slowick to Kaylee and nothing. So literally, like, what's it going to take? That defense should be able to write CJ Stroud off on their taxes as a dependent because he relies on them that much. As a Pats fan, I am terrified of that defense because I remember they ate Drake Maye alive last season in his debut. Granted, that was a different team, but that defense has only gotten better. But the offense, Nico Collins or not, I don't understand why they're just treading water. They're stuck in neutral. I mean, they're not a bad offense, but they're still underperforming. Actually, dare I even say they're a bad offense now? The Texans are an incredibly frustrating team. And if they lose next week against New England, then the leaders of the defense, Anderson, Hunter, Lassiter, Stingley, etc., they have to go to DeMeco Ryans and say, dude, what the hell? Something has to give.
Yeah. I think I'll be ready to make my definite take on CJ Stroud next year. I'm just holding out hope at this point.
Dude, I am too, but I don't know, man.
On the Steelers side, basically the two most pressing points of conversation is when will Mike Tomlin get fired, and is Aaron Rodgers' career over? Is this the last that we have seen of Aaron Rodgers?
It's possible. It could be. I'm not sure if he'll end his career on a pick six. I'm not sure he'll allow that to happen. If it does, it's unfortunate, but he did have a hell of a career. As far as Mike Tomlin is concerned, they're not getting rid of him. We already knew what was going on the moment they won the AFC North last Sunday. They're not getting rid of him.
CJ?
I can't believe I am about to say this, but I think this is the last we've seen of Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my.
I was always like, no, he's not gonna, but the stats are one thing. And if you're a box score watcher, you're probably like, at least for this season, cumulative, you're like, Aaron Rodgers hasn't been that bad. That's why my good friend, the eye test, says, hold up now. He's just rickety and old. And for Rodgers, there's no shame in bowing out right now. He is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He is a top 5 quarterback of all time. I just really think there's no shame in bowing out. I have more to say about Rodgers, but I'll just wait if he actually retires, then, because I have like this whole thing that I've been turning over in my head. But now let's go to the other issue, Mike Tomlin. I know he's never had a losing record. That fact is not lost on me. But when people tell me he's never had a losing record, I like to respond with a quote from Mike Tomlin. We do not care. We do not care. It gets to a point where 9-8 and 10-7, is that a losing record? No, but it's mediocre. He is 0-7 in his last, 7 playoff games. He has not won since 2017. Well, that was the year. It was actually a 2016 season,
Yep.
And they only won because the Chiefs tackle Eric Fisher caused a stupid penalty. They were not going to win regardless. And before that, they barely squeaked by the Miami Dolphins without Ryan Tannehill. I would say that Tomlin's been dancing through the raindrops, so that would imply that he has had any kind of playoff success. I don't think he's necessarily a bad coach. Far from it. I just think he needs a change of scenery, kind of like with the Baltimore Ravens and John Harbaugh. I guess I'm just done, with Tomlin and his, never had a losing season. And I'll tell you that's a reason to keep him around if you can answer me one question. What trophy do you get for that? What award? What award do you get for that? You don't get one. And it gets to a point where I know the whole saying for Pittsburgh is, the standard is the standard. But your standard is mediocrity. You are not, granted, you're not getting worse, but you're not progressing either. That Pittsburgh is a stagnant franchise. And yeah, Tomlin's a good coach, but at some point you have to realize what the situation is. Ever since Ben Roethlisberger retired, you've just been riding the QB carousel. And yes, I know they drafted Kenny Pickett in the first round, right? That's not lost on me, But you're never going to be bad enough to land a top prospect as long as you're mediocre. I'm not advocating for tanking, but unless you move up and swing a trade, which you all know, moving into the top 10, let alone the top 5, costs you an arm and a leg.
Yep.
So you're never going to be bad enough to get a top prospect. And that's just true. And you're never going to be good enough to compete for a Super Bowl. I think it's time to move on from Tomlin.
I think we said this literally this time last year, or Steelers are in purgatory, and the only way to do that is if they tank, and they just never accept the tank. All right. Wild card weekend has come and gone. Time for the divisional round, but obviously we're not going to talk about the divisional round since we're already pretty deep into this episode. But in terms of what we're looking at, schedule came out right after the conclusion of this game too, perfectly. Buffalo and Denver at 4:30. The opening line for that is 1.5 points in favor of Buffalo. At 8:00 on Saturday, San Francisco travels to Seattle. Seattle's 7.5 point favorites, and the league kind of just said, "Fuck San Francisco. Let's have them play the short week." Houston, New England playing at 3 on Sunday. Pats are 3-point favorites at home, and the Bears and Rams will be at 6:30. Rams are 3.5 point favorites on the road. You guys want to chime in with any thoughts on any very general thoughts before we wrap up?
No.
I just want to expand on. I just want to expand on what you said. The league is actually foul for doing that to the Niners. The Niners just keep losing another pound of flesh after every game, and it's hey, let's have you play a short week. Look, I know they probably didn't mean to do it, but I usually don't advocate for this, obviously, but I'm not gonna lie, they might have to talk to the league and be okay, really, yeah. We're held together by duct tape and string, and you're actively screwing us over.
Yeah,
them's the rules.
All right. That'll do it for us today. Thank you for tuning in to another Tuesday episode of the Fumblerooski Podcast. New episode coming out on Friday at 8 a.m. And be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we also have all our episodes available on Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, and so much more. Be sure to follow our Instagram, Fumblerooski_podcast, to keep up with the pod and the latest coverage on the NFL. Otherwise, from CJ Medeiros, Justin Tucker, I'm Chris Costich. We'll see you on Friday. Over and out.